Hi guys, welcome back to Chess do Matthew. So on this video, we will tackle about attacking the f2 or f7 square. So the three advantages of attacking the f2 or f7 squares is it can be our x-ray machine for the blunders and the battleground for the tactics and exploitation of the weakness, and it can be the portal for the king and checkmate. For example, on this position, we shall see that the king is the defender to the f2 pawn. And we can barely see that the white here has a blunder by playing g3, and we can exploit now or even to attack the f2 square. So here we have a bishop on the c5 that actually have a direct attack on the f2. So if we can have a successful attack against the f2, for example with our knight, and maybe we can land into the a3, we will first sacrifice the bishop, and after the capture, although we can check but there is a e3 defense, but after this knight to g4, and after the retreat of the king, then he will lost his queen on the d1. Another idea, for example, on this position, after our queen was actually attacked by the pawn, but if we have the idea of attacking the f2 or f7 square, on this position, we shall not retreat our queen, but instead to attack the f7, for example, this position, with his king on f7 square. So after, for example, we can land our queen to h7, giving a check. And if we retreat to king e8, we have a capture on the pawn and giving a check again. And later on, we can manage, for example, after rook f7, and we will follow up with rook h7. Although he can play king f6, but I think we can play bishop to c3, follow up with the move to knight to e4, for example, after queen 7, and we will exploit his king on the f6 by playing bishop to c3, bishop to e1, and bishop to h4, checkmating the king on the f6. So for example, after we land a check on the h7, maybe he will go to a square to e8, to a safe square. Because if he goes his king to f6, we can play, for example, the knight to f3 maybe at some point. And again, exploiting the dark square, for example, we can play bishop h4 later on and manage to checkmate the black's king on this position. So let's say, for example, after we play queen h7 check, I think the only good square for the black king is to play to king a8. But after king a8, for example, after we give a check, but there is a capture on g6, and even he will cover, we have rook h7, and again with a dual attack to the rook, and after we capture the rook on this f7, then we manage to win a huge material advantage on the board. It's like I said later on that the f7 or the attacking f7 or f2 pawn is, it can be a battleground for the tactics and exploitation of the weakness. For example, we have a knight that actually attacks the f7, and the only defender of f7 is the king. So after we capture and recapture with the king, we have a check and opening the diagonal to the h8 and h1 square. So after king takes f7, we have knight g5 check, and we can grab now the bishop and win a huge material advantage on the board. Again, on this position, we have a knight that actually attacks now the f2. So if we can land a knight to f2, then we can fork. Although our queen was actually been attacked by the bishop, but with a heart of attacking to the f2 or f7, we can actually manage to calculate, for example, if we grab the f2, then we can grab his queen later on. So after knight takes f2, bishop takes d8, we can grab his queen, knight takes to d1, and if we save his bishop, then we can grab his knight to c3, for example, after this move, and have a huge material advantage on the board. The third advantage of attacking the f2 or f7 is that it is the portal for the king to checkmate. So here, for example, if we grab the g6, then it attacks the king on e8, And for example, if he moves his king to f8, then we have queen to h6, landing a checkmate instantly. For example, after playing king g8, then we have queen h7 checkmate with our bishop on g6. So here, let's say for example on this position, after we give a check, although he can cover, but again we can play queen to d5, pinning the bishop and again attacking the f7 square with the tandem of queen and bishop against the bishop on f7. So for now, we should grab the bishop on f7 and draw the king out to his safe place. For example, after we grab, then he will recapture. Then we have queen to d5 giving a check. And let's say for example, if he retreat after this queen moves, although we can deliver a rook to g8 with a check, but still there is bishop f8, and again we have a disadvantage because we lost our bishop on this position. And I think after playing with rook to g7, again attacking the f7 with the idea of following it up with queen f7 checkmate. Again, by using the f7 square as our portal for the king of the black to deliver a checkmate, so it is possible to play rook to g7 first rather than to play rook to g8, because after rook to g7, it attacks now the f7 square. If he retreat his bishop to f8, then we can grab the rook to a7 and again giving a fork after queen e6 check, and again win a huge material advantage on the board. So let's play rook to g7 on this position. And another thing, for example, after we have the idea of attacking the f2 or f7, for example, on this position, we have actually the advanced pawn. So we will try to combine the idea of advanced pawn and the attacking to the f2 or f7 square. For example, the f7 rook is actually vulnerable because there is no defender. So if we give a check, then he should play king to a8 to defend his rook on f7. And for example, after we have some exchanges on f7, then we can now manage our pawn to push forward and follow with the advanced pawn ideas on the board. So finally, we can actually use the attacking ideas against the f2 or f7 in the opening. For example, on this position, because of the fact that the knight has an immediate attack on the f7, we can actually play maybe queen to h5 to add some attackers, or queen to f3, because the only defender is the king and we can actually have a double attack to the f7 and c6 pawn. So for example, after e4 c5, the Sicilian defense, but for example, after this check and doubling the pawns, and after he moved that bishop, it is actually a blunder, because now we can play queen to f3, having some two attackers on the f7 and with an intention to grab the c6 to fork the king and rook, while the move of bishop to a6 is still a bad move on this position because we can immediately play now the queen to f3 by attacking both the f7 and c6 pawn on this position. Although he can defend it both with queen to c7, but still we can play the sacrifice of knight to f7, because after knight takes f7, it attacks now the rook. So after he grabbed that knight, we have a fork on c6. So after queen to c6, we have a check, and later on we can grab the rook on the next move. So that's all. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to subscribe.